I want to know what Nintendo's huffing on right now because it makes zero sense to me. So we're going to talk about this and you're going to see what I'm talking about because it makes absolutely no sense. Nintendo is increasing the price of the original Switch family and some of the console accessories that goes along with this. It makes absolutely no sense to me. Nintendo has officially raised the price of several Switch 1 models, as well as a variety of other accompanying accessories. The move coincides with the recent confirmation of new commercial milestone for the Nintendo Switch semi-handheld, which surpassed 153 million units sold. To me, it makes no sense what they're doing. It really doesn't. Like, I mean, granted, the Nintendo Switch 2, it's available. It's not like the PlayStation 5 when the PlayStation 5 first came out, where it was just impossible to get your hands on. Like, you could not find it anywhere for 2 years. Because the second it would go live on any website, guess what? Bing, bang, boom, freaking bots bought up all of them. You had zero chance. The Xbox Series X, when it first came out, I mean, it wasn't impossible to get, but it was very difficult to get. But this is the thing is like the Nintendo Switch 2, I'm constantly getting notifications that the Nintendo Switch 2 is available at fill in the blank shop that, you could purchase it at. And right now, they're looking to raise the price of the original Switch. Anyways, the original Switch celebrates its 8th anniversary back in March 2025. Another reason why it makes zero sense as to why the price was going up. Although game consoles have historically dropped in price over time, the device has so far defied that trend outside the occasional sale. Instead of the long-awaited permanent price cut, the Nintendo recently announced that the original Switch would become more expensive in select markets, and one of those markets is here in America. Following up on this reveal, the company has now shared a bit more details about what exactly that means. Um, Dude, this is 8-year-old hardware. This hardware, I believe, is on par with like basically the GameCube. Um, I believe when I looked it up, the Nintendo Switch 2 is on par with like the PlayStation 4. So they're still like a generation, if not two generations behind where Microsoft and Sony are when it comes to consoles. So they're going to up the price. And the only reason why they're upping them, like I discuss in a lot of videos, is due to the fact that they have a lot of exclusive games where you can only play them on the Nintendo Switch and their own hardware. Anyways, the newly confirmed price hike has appeared comprehensive in both their listings of targets and geographic reach. Nintendo has apparently opted to apply them to every prior generation Switch variant that can currently be found in the wild, leading to the Switch Lite and the original Switch now starting at $230 and $340 respectively. On top of that, Nintendo Switch Online subscriptions are getting more expensive for some users. Now, when it comes down to it, the Nintendo Switch Online is actually still a really good deal, even with, a small 10, 15% price hike because they offer a lot of stuff. You have the emulation of back consoles such as the original Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the Game Boy Advance, the Game Boy, the GameCube, N64, you name it, it is actually a pretty good bang for your buck. On top of that, all the first party DLC for the most part that I've noticed is also available on the Nintendo Switch Online service. So that makes it worth it, especially if you're playing Mario Kart 8, you're getting all the tracks, which I think it's like 450 tracks. That's an exaggeration, so don't go and roast me in the comments too bad. But at the end of the day, the Nintendo Switch Online is actually a pretty decent service and bang for your buck compared to PlayStation Plus that keeps removing games, that's not adding any additional value, that, their monthly games they come out with for said service, I mean, they're okay, but you're basically paying to play online. That's all you're paying for when it comes to PlayStation Plus for the most part. We're going to take a look. Here is the latest Nintendo price hikes. This is the chart. So when you look at this chart, for the most part, the lowest Alarmo clock I have no idea what the heck that is, but it's taken a 10% price hike, going from $99 to $110, where the Switch One's going from $299 to $339. That to me doesn't make sense. The Nintendo Switch Lite, $199 to $230. Another one. Another one. The OLED, 350 to 400. That's basically a 15% price hike. The Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. This is the secret, you guys. If you have a Nintendo Switch 1 Pro controller, just use that. It's basically the same goddamn controller. Instead of paying $90, which that's another thing, and it's not just a Nintendo thing, but when it comes to buying controllers, Xbox, Sony, I don't care. Controllers are getting way too expensive for what you're getting. The other thing that kind of really burns my buns right here, Joy-Con 1 controller, $79.99, $89.99, right? So it's going from $80 to $90. But guess what? Those some bitches are going to get stick drift within 6 months of using it if you use it regularly. In my opinion, they really need to upgrade and make better quality products if they're going to be charging prices such as this. The Nintendo Switch 1 Pro controller, I like mine. I've never had an issue with it. But yet, here's the Nintendo Switch Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. I couldn't speak right there. Going from $85 to $90. It doesn't make sense why basically across the board, if you round it out, they're doing basically between a 13 to 14% price hike in some of these things. I don't even understand why seemingly GameStop's the only one that's doing like this one. On top of that, there's a lot of accessories for the Nintendo Switch 2 that aren't readily available out in the wild. And if you're looking to get them, guess what? You're going to have to go through Nintendo's website, such as the dock for the Nintendo Switch 2. I have a Nintendo Switch 2. I really wanted to get a dock for my living room, as well as having one here in the game room attached to the rig, where all I have to do is switch the buttons, and I can just play it right here on stream for you guys. And one, the dock costs like $140, I believe, when I looked it up the other day. And two, the only place you can get it, as of right now, is through Nintendo directly. Talking with the guys at GameStop, they were just like, hey, yeah, sorry about that. We're probably not going to get any kind of docks anytime soon for the Nintendo Switch 2, so your best bet's probably getting it through them. On top of that, the other thing that really makes me scratch my head as we continue to come down here is the controller styled such as the after the Super Nintendo, the original Nintendo, Sega Genesis, and N64. The only place you can get those in realistic fashion is directly from Nintendo. You can't go to a GameStop and purchase said controllers. I do think it's kind of interesting here that they don't actually talk about how there is a GameCube variant controller, which I did buy one for my Nintendo Switch 2, that you can only buy directly from them. Anyways, notably the $85 Switch 2 Pro controller has already increased in price back in June after it was initially planned for retail at $79.99. Select accessories such as the Joy-Con 2 charging grips, racing wheels, and wrist straps are also yet to be mentioned in the context of the new price adjustment. Truth be told, the new Joy-Con 2s, me personally, I think the only big upgrade for them is the fact that you can just clip them on and off instead of sliding them on and sliding them off with the rails. Looking at the big picture, Nintendo cited broad market conditions as the primary reason for these latest hikes. No, it's not broad market conditions. They're trying to milk you, everybody, not just you, not just me, but everybody, for everything they can get out of you. Because all seriousness, they already are fucking huffing hopium right here, because they're hoping that we're not going to speak with our wallets, because they want us to be able to go out and buy these $80, $90 games because it's a Nintendo product. Now, don't get me wrong, a lot of Nintendo games are actually pretty good. But the problem I have is the fact that, like, the Nintendo Switch 2, the only game it launched with, really, that was new was Mario Kart World. How many people do you see still out there playing Mario Kart World? It's really not that many. I put in probably like 30 hours into Mario Kart World, and then I was like, okay, I'm done with this. But the thing of it is you're asking $80 for a digital game and then $90 for a physical game. It doesn't make sense to me. Though it stopped short of directly attributing to the Trump administration, blah, 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 it's going to affect going ongoing efforts to apply far-reaching tariffs and the cornerstone of the trade policy. While this may be a practical justification, it is still unclear how exactly the market will react once the changes go into effect in the days ahead. You know what it's going to do? It's going to push a lot of people out of the gaming market, out of the gaming sphere. There's going to be a lot of people that aren't going to be able to afford said Nintendo products because of all of these, price increases. And I feel bad for them. Let's go full screen. Because at the end of the day, it's not just people like me that like to play them. Now, I got adult money. I can buy stuff like this, but you're talking about little Timmy, you're talking about little Jimmy that, they go to their mom or their dad or whoever, and it's like, hey, I want a Nintendo Switch too. Hey, I want a Nintendo. Hey, I want to get this game. Hey, I want to get that game. And that's what's ultimately going to hurt the gaming market. You're going to push a lot of those younger generations that want to play these games out of the market. And then if you push them out of the market, guess what? You have no future in gaming. Now, granted, there's a lot of kids out there that do play on their PlayStation, that do end up getting a PC, that, fill in the blank. But the thing of it is at the rate these increases are going on, and I'm gonna probably hear about it in the comment section. There's people that are like, oh, well, game prices didn't increase. Game prices didn't keep up with, inflation. Game prices, I don't care. There's a lot of these games out here that I feel don't even deserve a fucking $70 price tag, let alone an $80 price tag. Because a lot of these games are fucking coming out and you have to patch them, and they're not fucking good games until a year after they've been released. If I put out a half-ass product at my 9 to 5, I wouldn't have a job. But yet, EA, Ubisoft, all these other game publishers and developers that put out half-ass fucking games, and I'm not calling out the developers on that, I'm calling out the big corporations that are looking for that money, putting out these half-ass games, you need to drop the price. If you're going to put out a half-ass product, I'm going to pay half the fucking price. It's that simple, And then, like I said, I don't agree with the increased cost of the Joy-Con 1 controllers because they get stick drift so goddamn easy, to the fact that, are they worth the $90 price point? Fuck no. I'm going to go out and I'm going to buy me a third-party fucking controller so I don't have to worry about paying $90 for this shit when I can spend $20. And if it lasts me $6, 6 months, guess what? It lasts me the same amount of time as these goddamn Joy-Con 1 controllers that Nintendo refuses to listen to the goddamn, population, the people that fucking use the product, the people that really rally behind Nintendo. It burns me up. Anyways, you guys, y'all take it easy. Have a great, wonderful day. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you not fucking care? I don't give a shit. These are some of my thoughts on this topic right here because I find it wrong on so many goddamn levels. Anyways, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow, and take it easy.